In this video, we're going to talk about Meshtastic. Now, it may be a little bit out there for some of you, but I think it could be helpful for missionaries or churches or mission trips that could be able to have an offline system of communication. It's free. You can text each other without having a phone plan. You can text each other without having around the world. You go anywhere in the world and be able to text your group that you're in without having any data, anything. All you need is a cell phone and a little communications box. And we'll show you how that works. It's kind of interesting. And who knows what the future might hold. So hope this can be a blessing.
And so now we're going to get into a different one that's going to be something that he does that's a little bit far out for some, but it might be exactly what you need for others, especially maybe someone who's in a more dangerous area. I could think maybe Venezuela right now could be handy because of the infrastructure, the earthquakes, the buildings falling down.
When we talk about, think of emergency communications. You know, everybody is so attached to their cell phone, and nobody really thinks about what would the world look like if the cell phone infrastructure went down. And that's a common one of, if you look back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, CB radios were a big hit, or even the walkie-talkies were really popular. What we're talking about now, though, is a mode of digital communication very similar to a text message that's called Meshtastic. And that will allow you to have a radio in your pocket that's connected to your cell phone, and you can send short communications digitally encrypted to the public or via a private communication channel that you just share with your family or friends.
And this is what they would coin as Meshtastic.
Meshtastic, that is correct.
So, for say that I'm in Serbia, I wouldn't be able to necessarily reach out to you and say, hey, I need help.
That's correct. So we're talking about, think of, I call it akin to a walkie-talkie, but for text. So 1 to 2 miles line of sight is really what we're talking about here. But the good part is you can have a string of them or set up an infrastructure of repeaters to relay that message, maybe across the entire town or bridge 2 towns together if they were close enough. But in the most simplest form, I often talk about a hiking group. So you're going out hiking with some buddies, and you all have a radio with you, and say somebody falls and they need help. Well, if they fall down a hill, yelling sometimes isn't always an option. Mm-hmm. But if they have a radio like this that really adds nothing to the weight of what they're packing, then they can send a message that says, I need help, and they can share their location as well to say, I'm here.
There's no cell towers.
No cell towers.
You're in the desert. And you get abducted by a herd of Campbellmen, but they're 3 miles away. You could be able to text to say, we're near the river.
Yes.
No Wi-Fi, no cell service, nothing.
Yep. As long as you have Bluetooth connection to your device. So even if it's in your backpack and you have your backpack with you, you can still hammer out those messages and get them out to, a group of people.
So let's just say that you are taking a missions trip to the Amazon with a church group. Yes. And everybody in your church group has this device and you have no cell service. Now you can text each other.
You can text each other
in the Amazon forest.
Yes.
Made of Mexico. You go to Russia. You go North Korea. Wherever
it is. Yep.
You can be able to communicate in small groups within what range?
Let's comfortably say a mile, but you can sometimes push it if you've got a good advantage of elevation up to 5 or 10 miles.
Okay, which goes into another one. Say you are in the Amazon forest.
Yes.
Okay, and you've got a group of teenagers that you're swimming. Okay, this is out there. Okay, but there's probably some Baptist church that's going to do it one day. But they're floating down the Amazon River, giving tracts to the natives, whatever, and they get separated, and the Meshtastic is not reaching them. You can attach one of yours to a drone that you have in your backpack.
Yep.
You fly it up above the tree line, and that extends your radio signal.
Long ways.
And so now your group was actually 5 miles downriver, and they got the message.
Yes.
Because you had a drone in your backpack with the Meshtastic.
Meshtastic, and they're very lightweight. The The heaviest units are, still, if you attach them to a drone, probably going to keep them under the legal limit of.
So I looked at it. It's like basically, you got one right here?
I've got one with me here. All
right.
You know what? Yeah, I do. I have one.
So it's the size of a thick credit card.
It is. So this is one of them here. This is called a Whiz Mesh Tag, and you can kind of just see here. It's about the thickness of 2 or 3 credit cards, about the physical size of a deck of cards, and that will allow you multiple days on a single charge. Connects to your phone, and you've got a radio in your pocket there, and fairly inexpensive to have and to own. And you can buy a couple of them to share amongst a missions group or even amongst your friends.
But one of those is once you tag it to one person's cell phone, it stays with that person's cell phone until you untag it.
Yes. So it's a Bluetooth connection. So similar to like your headphones or something, it connects to one device. It kind of keeps that bond.
You basically unconnect from Bluetooth, and I can connect to it.
That's correct. Yes.
All you need to buy is this thing.
All you need to buy is this.
How do you charge it?
Little pins, little pogo pin magnetizes on.
So it comes with the charger.
Comes with the charger. Yep. And it needs about 3 hours to fully charge.
And then how do you connect to your group?
So if you want to do the public channel and that's all you want to do, now that's open for anybody to see that has one of these. As soon as you power it on, it's ready to go. Now, if you want to add a private channel, so I want encrypted communications between me and you, I can set up a channel with a key, and I will show you a QR code, and you can add that to your device. And then you have that channel as well, and we can securely talk across that channel. And anybody else's radio can relay that packet, send it across, but they can't read it. They just send it on, and that way your message can keep hopping across the network.
So how much is one of these things with the battery cost?
Something like this is going to be about $40 US.
40 with the battery charger.
With the battery charger ready to go.
Okay, so think about this. You guys are going to come take a missions trip to Serbia. You got 15 people. You could all buy a SIM card to text, or if you did something like this, you'd have it maybe the rest of your life or whatever, how long it has. And you don't really necessarily need data if you're just going to communicate, hey, I'm going over here, I'm going to go here, where you at? Connect through like that.
That is, yes. Now, I will caution, make sure you're abiding by country's radio rules and regulations. There are frequencies that are used for Meshtastic. They do change depending on where you are in the world. So United States, it's going to be on a 900 megahertz spectrum. If you're in Europe, it's going to be on an 800 or 400 megahertz spectrum. And you'll have to make sure that you're following any local laws and regulations.
So when you go to a country, you just gotta
confirm that you're allowed to use that technology.
Okay,
little extra there. Definitely play with research the rules and regulations there for whatever country.
Even worst case scenario, you're in the Amazon, you're on the wrong frequency. At least you've got
that connectivity there. Yes,
work it out with the police later, but at least you're together.
I would say if you're using this in another country, and you're in danger, I don't think anybody's going to question, what radio frequency you were on. You made it safely. Everybody was okay.
So it makes much sense to me, but it's basically this stays in your pocket like a wallet, and it connects to your phone, and you text on your phone, and we're just texting back and forth.
Yes,
is really all that works.
You're using your cell phone, but you don't have to have any data. You don't have to have cell phone service, and it's really light on your battery on your cell phone as well, because the heavy lifting is happening here.
So I'm in Walmart.
Yes.
And my wife's in the car, and I can't get any Wi-Fi. Not that that's a real big deal, but does this work through big buildings like where Wi-Fi and cell signal won't?
Yes. In sub-gigahertz in the United States, what we call sub-gigahertz is that 900 megahertz space is very good to penetrate concrete, metal. Actually does those better than sometimes a wooded forest.
This is why Walmart employees use radios.
That is correct. Yes.
To go through a building.
Works way better. Yes. Oh, so these radio signals fly, air quotes, pretty easily. They want to get out there. They want to find that next hop to really get your message out there.
So deer hunting for all these Baptist deer hunters out there.
Yes.
To be able to communicate back to camp, through other hunters and there's no signal, you can carry one of these things for $40.
And what you can do, if there's a little hole in the top here, put a piece of paracord through this, throw it up in a tree somewhere. Now you've got yourself a height advantage. Put it up in a tree that's, 30, 40 foot tall. And now you've got a whole lot more coverage there. So you're going to push that signal out even
So
further.
you're going, let's just say you're going to be 2 miles away from base camp. Your wife's got one. You buy another one, put it in the middle between you and your wife. And now you can cover 2 miles because when you send a text message, it goes to this one, bounces off, and then goes to her.
It does. Yes.
And then you could do that just as long as you wanted to.
Up to, let's call it 5 miles, because these radios like to hop about 3 times so when you send a message, it wants to go through 3 hops is what they call them. So every time a radio hears it, it'll relay it, and it'll do that 3 times. So you can get that to travel pretty far. So you've got a radio up in the air, it'll hit that relay point, rebroadcast it, and then it can keep hopping across the network.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool is that every radio is also a repeater. So every radio that hears your signal, even if it's not in your group. So say there's another hunter on that property that's not a buddy, but he's got one of these radios, he'll relay your signal too.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll relay his.
So you could do home base, tree, you.
Yes,
And that would work.
it would.
But more than that would be not really feasible.
You could push it sometimes at no.
Maybe
but
another
that's
one.
Simple.
If you want guaranteed,
Yeah.
just do 2 and
Yep.
1.
So
Okay.
it works really, really well.
How did they do the 200 miles?
So we talked about the world record of, closing in on 200 miles worth of range. They would use a directional antenna. So they did it between a mountain and a valley. And they were basically able to shoot that signal with a directional antenna pretty long way. And when you're talking about power of the radio, you're only talking about 0.15 watts. So everybody's cautious about putting something on their body. Everybody talks about their cell phone signal or an exposure to RF.
This is less hazardous than a cell phone.
It is. Yes. It talks less.
So keeping, if you have one in this pocket, your cell phone in this pocket, this leg is going to get cancer before this leg does.
I'm not a doctor, but let's go.
Okay. There you go. Well, cool.
You can throw these in. Again, these are really portable. They're rugged. They're tough.
No subscription.
No subscription.
Just $40 free texting locally within a mile.
And the technology is open source. So if anybody has security concerns or want to see the code, it's out there. Again, it's called Meshtastic. You can go to meshtastic.org. You can read all about the project, and you can pick up your own radio. There's
I'll have you send me a bunch of those links, and when you could buy them.
Yes.
And maybe I'm sure there's a YouTube guy that did an operational video, and so I can post all that in the description that you recommend, and then you guys can see that. So that's it. I think it's time for supper. Okay, sounds good. We'll be up. Okay, that's it. Just want to show you with Meshtastic, and thank you, Brother Piper, and we'll end it. That's it. All right, boys, let's roll. Fantastic.
And that's it. If you have any questions about Meshtastic, feel free to put them in down below, or you can email us, whatnot. We'll try to see if we can help you in any ways, but there should be some descriptions or some links here below. You can order that. And if it does help you and you do have a positive reason for using some of this stuff, hey, let us know in the comments below how you used it, how it was profitable to you, so that others can kind of say, hey, this might be something good for me. I'll tell you what, we're going to go back to Serbia, and I'm probably going to pick up some of these to take with me because I think they could be handy. So anyways, that's it. Bye.